We've got breaking news for you from the NFL media newsroom. The New York Giants and their two-time Super Bowl MVP Eli Manning have agreed in principle to a 4-year, $84 million contract extension. The deal is expected to include $65 million in guarantees. The 34-year-old quarterback has never missed a start in 11 seasons. Let's welcome in NFL media insider Ian Rappaport with more. Ian, as you're joining us this morning, we heard Eli come out and dispute reports that he wanted to be the highest paid player in the NFL. How do we get from that point to this point where we're waiting to get pen to paper?
Well, Eli is not the highest paid player in the NFL. Of course, going to make $21 million per year on this 4-year, $84 million extension. That, as you mentioned, includes $65 million in guarantees, also a $31 million signing bonus. So now Eli Manning will be a member of the New York Giants over the next 5 years at a little more than $101 million. And by the way, I'm also told his contract includes a no-trade clause, further solidifying the fact that Eli Manning will finish his career with the Giants. So you asked about the potential of him being the highest paid player in the NFL. That is what agent Tom Condon was asking for in several of his proposals over the last several weeks and months. They finally settled on just a little bit under Aaron Rodgers, a little bit under Russell Wilson, but more than Phillip Rivers, who signed a deal earlier this offseason, an extension for 4 years, a little more than $83 million. So Manning slots right in there, right under Ben Roethlisberger. It is a comfort zone for him, the idea of being, despite what his agent was asking for, the idea of him being the highest paid player, as he said publicly, was a little uncomfortable for him, despite the fact that it probably would have made sense given what his franchise tag number would be if they tagged him next year. So in the end, here's what we know. Eli Manning and the Giants have agreed on a 4-year, $84 million extension. The plan is for him to sign it today, beating the deadline that Manning and the Giants had set, which is to have a deal done by Sunday of opening week.
And Ian, in particular with the financials of this deal, what kind of flexibility does it give the Giants in the future with regards to other contracts?
Well, the cap number, my understanding, will go down a little bit. It was set to be more than the $17 million Eli Manning was going to make this year, but the Giants really don't have a ton of contractual priorities after Eli Manning. They have Prince Amukamara, one of their solid cornerbacks who's on his 5th-year option. That's a deal that they could target next, but really the Giants do appear to be set as far as contracts now moving forward. But remember, they also have a really solid young core of receivers. They have Ruben Randle, they have Odell Beckham, who, of course, at some point in the next couple of years is going to be due a huge contract extension. So really what this does is just make sure that their franchise quarterback is in place for the next several years. Check that item off the list. And for Manning, including the fact that he has a no-trade clause, he knows that he will be a member of the Giants throughout the final years of his career, something that was important to him and something that it was unlikely he was going to leave the Giants regardless, but this really does solidify things. And if you want to talk about how this deal actually came together, I'm told there was a meeting last night between Eli and John Mara, the owner. They hashed out a couple issues. They talked about their future together, and by the time both sides left that meeting, it was very clear that today Manning would be signing this 4-year, $84 million deal that was being finalized last night, and that should happen shortly.
And Ian, when you hear about those conversations, from what you're told or what you've heard from those meetings between John Mara and Eli Manning, do you get the feeling that this is more of a deal to honor a guy who's won 2 Super Bowl MVPs for the team, or more looking forward to what he can do for the team in the future?
Well, make no mistake, there is a lot of respect for Eli Manning and what he has done for the Giants. And, of course, this is a deal that pays him for what he's done. But for the Giants, and really for any team that does contracts, it's a deal that will pay him for what he is going to do going forward. There's a lot of confidence inside the organization regarding how Eli Manning will perform in Ben McAdoo's offense. Forget about what you saw in the preseason. No one is concerned that really means anything. It is simply what he is going to do moving forward. They got an explosive electric receiving core, they believe, and they think that Manning is going to, last year they talked about potentially completing 70% of his passes. He's not quite there. He wasn't quite there yet last year. but the hope is that he gets there this year and that he continues to thrive in this offense.
That is NFL media insider Ian Rappaport joining us with the latest details on Eli Manning and his potential contract extension with the Giants.